This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. 6 people diagnosed with influenza have died during an outbreak at an aged care facility in Latrobe. Health authorities say it's a tragic case, but not an unusual one in the midst of a moderately severe flu season. It's been confirmed another 9 facilities also hit by outbreaks are currently being monitored.
Staff and residents at the Strathdevon Aged Care Facility are reeling from a serious influenza outbreak. In the past 3 weeks, 31 residents were struck down by the flu. Authorities today confirming 6 of these people with underlying health conditions died.
We have been informed of those deaths. We monitored the situation and ensured that the appropriate guidelines were being followed. Tragically and sadly at this time of the year, and particularly in an aged care facility where an outbreak occurred, deaths do occur.
The facility's operator, Uniting Agewell, says all precautions were taken ahead of the flu season, with 95% of Strathdevon's 37 residents receiving a flu vaccination. All staff were offered the free vaccine, with a large number of them being immunised. As of Wednesday, this outbreak has been cleared, but Public Health says it's currently monitoring other clusters.
So we've had to date 21 this year during the flu season, 21 outbreaks of flu in aged care facilities, and at the moment there are around 9 currently being monitored.
In the wider Tasmanian community, there have been 1,500 confirmed influenza cases. Nurses say that's being felt across the health system.
From our members, we're hearing reports that this season has been one of the worst in recent times for influenza. There certainly is a significant amount of flu both in our aged care facilities but across the entire health sector.
Free flu vaccinations are available to particularly vulnerable groups, including those over the age of 65, pregnant women and people with certain chronic medical conditions.
We'd recommend that anyone over 6 months of age who wants to protect themselves against flu should receive a flu vaccination or should consider receiving a flu vaccination.
We have to take it seriously and all of us can play a role. Obviously, if we have exposure to people who are older or more vulnerable.
You can find more details about vaccinations on the Health Department's website. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Rancid waste spilling from an old silica processor in the state's northwest is being linked to the death of local birds and wildlife. Local residents say they're fed up with inaction after first reporting the problem more than 12 months ago.
Coated in oily slime, these birds were found helpless in a pool of waste on a dirt track in Haybridge, 10 kilometres outside of Burnie. A nearby resident fished them out and tried to save them after coming across the nauseating scene.
Poor old birds were stuck in this crap yesterday. Put them in a plastic bag and took them home and tried to clean them, but you just can't get it off. Their feathers were starting to fall out, so they was either going to die in the pond, so I just put them out of their misery.
He says this latest incident is the tipping point on a 12-month pollution problem, which is seeing waste spill off the bank of the track, putting other bird and wildlife at risk.
We had a lot of wild ducks here. They've disappeared. They need to clean up. They need to get out in the vegetation and clean up the oil because it's just hitting the environment. We've got it past our front door.
The source of the pollution has been tracked down to a nearby lease, previously used by Index Mineral Processing. The site is now being used by Tas Stockfeed, which says the current owner of the lease and relevant authorities are working on the issue, and that Tas Stockfeed has not contributed to its cause. Those in charge of investigations, the Environment Protection Authority and Burnie City Council, have the task of managing a potential clean-up.
We're undertaking some investigations, and once they're finalised, Council will certainly be taking action under the legislative powers that are available to it.
It's very, very hard to understand why it hasn't been addressed over this period of time. I find it totally irresponsible.
Authorities have not named an expected timeframe for a resolution. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A driver has had a lucky escape after their car caught fire on the Bass Highway near Ulverston. Firefighters say the driver heard a loud bang before the fire started under the bonnet. A mechanical fault has been determined as the cause. Firefighters say drivers in a similar situation should always pull over safely and get out of danger before alerting authorities. Young minds are putting their science and technology skills to the test for a statewide competition being held in November. In the lead-up, teams are building and programming robots to complete a series of practice missions.
We've now got between now and the 18th of November to practice and build as many of those 18 challenges as we can.
Organisers say the Metal Minds competition encourages teamwork and is a fun way to learn about science. The state government program is aiming to upskill workers and job seekers. $4 million from the Tasmanian Skills Fund will go towards training in growing areas of the economy, such as construction, agriculture, aged care and tourism.
So these are some of the key sectors that are experiencing growth, and it's critical for us to maximise those opportunities and to give young Tasmanians in particular the opportunity to get into employment.
We're very busy at the moment in the industry, so yes, I mean we can always use more people in the industry, particularly carpenters at the moment.
The funding will create targeted training places for job seekers, as well as professional development for existing workers. A community organisation helping families cope with the demands of having a young family is celebrating its 100th year. The Child Health Association of Tasmania today hosting the first of many centenary events to recognise the milestones the organisation has achieved.
We've got this little thing that it doesn't come with an instruction book, nobody knows what they're doing, and we just need to create that village so that if a mum needs to reach out, if she needs support, that is easily accessed.
The main event, Swing into Spring, is on the 22nd of September. Tasmanians living with early onset dementia have had their most treasured memories published in a bid to remove stigma associated with the disease. The book, Badgers and Porcupines, was officially launched today with contributions from clients at a weekly support group, Artist in Residence.
Remember stuff years and years ago, and that's what my writing is. It was actually a concert I went to in England in 1976.
They've got rich, full lives, they've got loves and family and, all these intimate and wonderful stories that they've shared with us.
We've done things to make memories, and maybe Tex mightn't remember, but I'll have the memories, yeah.
Dementia is predicted to be the nation's biggest killer by 2020. A young Tasmanian ballet dancer has become the first in 13 years to be accepted into the prestigious Australian Ballet School. 4 years of tireless dance practice and dedication have paid off, and the teenager couldn't be happier.
Emily Masters is finessing her skills after receiving some big news.
I have just recently been accepted into the Australian Ballet School for 2018.
After 2 knockbacks trying for a place at the elite Melbourne Training School, the 14-year-old has had her big break.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I actually can't believe it, but yeah, very excited.
She dedicates 15 hours a week to perfect her craft of classical ballet with her teacher Shane Davies. These tireless hours of practice are on top of completing her grade 10 academic studies at St Aloysius.
I think the last time anyone was accepted in Hobart was 13 years ago, so we're incredibly excited.
Emily started dancing at the age of 6, but only started ballet when she was 10. 4 years of hard work and intense dedication has earned her a spot just where she wants to be.
I just like when I perform and I can just feel what I want and do what I want. It's great.
It was everyone's dream, even my dream as a young girl, so that in itself is amazing.
It's the next step into my future.
Emily says she's nervous about leaving family and friends in Tasmania, but is confident the jump to the big city will be worth it. A graceful one at that. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Lauderdale has broken the hoodoo over fierce rival Clarence, finishing strongly to record a 47-point win in this afternoon's qualifying final at Blunston Arena a short time ago. It was a close contest for most of the match before the Bombers found another gear in the home stretch, securing a match-up with North Launceston for a shot at premiership glory.
Billed as the biggest grudge match in recent times, both sides refrained from any pre-bounce niggle. Jordan Roberts opening the account for Lauderdale, with Jake Cox striking first for the Roos, as Bryce Walsh tried to get in the star forward's head before the skipper copped one high. As predicted, both sides were hard at the ball early, and as predicted, Trent Standen was too quick for the Bombers' backline. Raymond Hill only needed a couple of steps to convert, Ben McGuinness showing no signs of rust in his return from injury. As always, Thor Boscott looked dangerous through the middle, as did Alex Hill inside 50, with the Bombers up by 18 points at the first siren. All the roos early in the second, with some Ian Callanan magic closing the gap. A free kick in the square saw things back to within a goal before the Clarence coach gave his side the lead. Reece Hutton flew high for the roos, Ryan Wiggins kicked true for the Bombers, and there was only 2 points in it come half-time. Ben McGuinness helped the Bombers boot away slightly in the third, with the side 2 goals up heading into the home stretch. And with Lauderdale hungry for their first win over their Eastern Shore rivals this year, the Bombers ran away with it, booking a showdown with North Launceston with a 47-point win.
Meanwhile, Glenorchy's hopes of back-to-back TSL flags have been shattered at the hands of Launceston. The Pies looked out of sorts at Blunston Arena as the Blues raced away with it in their first finals appearance since 2013.
With one side the reigning premiers and the other in unfamiliar finals territory, things were always going to be interesting. Missed chances preventing both sides from gaining the early edge, with less than a goal in it at the first change. Glenorchy dominated possession early in the second, but struggled to find the middle of the sticks before Bowden made the breakthrough. Braden Webb weaving his way through heavy traffic to make it a 19-point buffer. A quick transition for the Blues saw Connor Smith get a boot on it just in time before Brendan Taylor snapped home a beauty. Sonny Whiting producing this highlight major, hugged in on the boundary, narrowing the gap to 7 points at the long break. Whiting had another within a minute of play before producing one of the goals of the year. And when Nathan O'Donoghue and Jay Blackberry got involved, the Blues had the lead. Lonigan bending this one back right on the siren to make it a 26-point difference. Kelly Mansell almost pulling off the impossible when things resumed. Young Jake Hines' shot wasn't pretty, but the result was. A couple of quick Glenorchy majors did little to slow Launceston's momentum, with the Blues ending the Pies' hopes of back-to-back flags, running away the 28-point winners. Tom Cooper, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian boat Export Roo has had a disastrous finish at the SB20 World Championships in the UK. After holding the lead last night, the boat fell out of contention amid wild winds.
Dream sailing took a nasty turn for the worse. The team of Export Roo, featuring Michael Cooper, David Chapman and Jerry Mitchell, held a slender 3-point lead heading into race 5. But overnight, the fairy tale evaporated as a rank outsider took control. Britain's sportsboatworld.com charged from 5th place to eclipse the competition and claim the overall first prize. Export Roo crossed the line way back in 14th, having to settle for 2nd in the series. Amy Cure has completed stage 4 of the Bowls Ladies Tour in Holland. Cure finished 14th after being squeezed out of the leading group in the sprint.
We lost quite a few positions there, but we gave it everything in the end, but didn't get the win today.
And Daniel Watkins has qualified for the C1 canoe semi-final in Italy. Watkins qualified with the 17th best time. Kate Urquhart is also through to the semi after conceding just one penalty.
Some of Tasmania's top futsal players are heading to Brisbane for a new national competition. Players from across the state took part in a mini tournament in Hobart today, preparing teams for the AFA Cup later this month. Futsal Tasmania says local involvement in the new competition will provide a pathway for young players.
A tournament of this sort of calibre is something that we've always wanted to go to. And obviously this is a new tournament with 4 major states or regions covered.
Our Islanders futsal team will take on sides from Queensland, Victoria and New South Wales.
Good evening. Hobart reached a top of 19 today, Launceston 15 and Burnie and Devonport both 13 degrees. Strawn and Bushy Park 19, Grove 18, Friendly Beaches and King Island 17 degrees, 16 at Maria Island, St Helens and Flinders Island, Low Head and Wynyard both 13 and Lyweenie 8 degrees. The satellite shows a band of middle and high level cloud over the southeast of the country with some thunderstorm activity near the WA South Australia border. Colder air behind the front is bringing low level cloud onshore over southern Western Australia. On the close-up, high level cloud is seen over the north and west of the state and patches of middle level cloud are situated over the southeast. The cold front crossing Tasmania with a low is passing to the south. A second cold front will cross the Bight and a ridge of high pressure will establish itself from the west over WA. Tomorrow, northerly winds increasing to 30 knots around midday before increasing to 35 knots in the evening. Seas 2 to 4 metres. A strong wind warning is current for all coastal waters, and a small craft wind alert has been issued for the southwest and central plateau lakes. And to tomorrow now, Father's Day looking to be a wet one statewide. Hobart and Ouse both 17 with showers, Richmond 18 and showers, Launceston 15 with showers, 14 for Devonport, showers, and Deloraine 13 with showers. Still more showers across the northwest, Burnie 14, Strawn 16, Curry 15. To the east coast, showers for St Helens 17, Swansea and Whitemark both reaching 18 with showers. To Monday now, showers about the north and west with a chance of thunderstorms in the west and far northeast. Snowfalls to 300 metres. Tuesday, showers about the north and west, extending statewide during the afternoon. Wednesday, showers mainly about the south and west. To the rest of the country now, sunny in Darwin and Alice Springs, showers for Canberra, Adelaide and Melbourne, cloudy in Perth and a mostly sunny 28 degrees for Brisbane.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.